Hello all, and I know this isn't my usual type of video, I do have more of those planned for October, but for now I saw Palmdale was in the news with UFOs, and being a former resident of the area, I just had to chime in and say, no, it's not UFOs. I see everyone talking about Edwards Air Force Base when discussing this UFO sighting over Palmdale, totally neglecting the base right in the middle of town that shares its name with the town. Palmdale Plant 42 Production Flight Test Installation, home of Lockheed Martin Skunk Works HQ. You know, Lockheed's Advanced Projects Division. And Palmdale was the birthplace of NASA's 5 space shuttle orbiters, hence the weird-shaped hangar I'm showing here. And aside from the space shuttles that made the base famous, get ready for a long run-on sentence listing all of the major projects that aviation enthusiasts know the base to be famous for, such as the B-2, B-21, YF-22, and later F-22, YF-23, X-32, X-35, and later F-35, F-117, U-2, SR-71, and SR-72, which, in fact, is believed to be tied into the Top Gun movie of all things, as Lockheed seems to be using the Dark Star from the Top Gun movie in place of all their advertising for the SR-72.
We integrated their Skunkworks designers with our designers on the film side.
In fact, in one of Lockheed's commercials, the Dark Star from Top Gun is featured with the SR-72 label written right on it if you turn up the brightness on the commercial as a little Easter egg. And in fact, that SR-72 or Dark Star was seen behind one of Lockheed's hangars at the base. And on top of that, the base is also known for the XB-70 Valkyrie, X-47B, X-15, and currently the X-59 Quest supersonic sonic boom research aircraft. We also know that the United States Air Force had just finished conducting Operation Bamboo Eagle, a combat training exercise out of Palmdale Plant 42, just before these UFO sightings. And fun fact, it's actually a common sight to see aircraft associated with Janet Airlines, a mysterious airline believed to act as transportation for Area 51 employees. And a little anecdote to throw in here just for fun, because this is Palmdale and I want to talk about it. I can say that I do remember as a small child, growing up, sitting watching airplanes at the end of Runway 25 at Plant 42 at BJ's Corner. I could remember watching Beechcraft come in and land at Plant 42 while talking to air traffic control identifying as Janet Airlines aircraft. And not long after you'd see these aircraft landing at Plant 42, you would often see a U-2 identifying as X-Ray 00 departing from the base. And we know that the U-2 was also tested at Area 51. And I would also be remiss if I didn't mention Mojave Air and Spaceport, home to its own advanced projects, such as Boeing Skyfox and their highly classified X-37B spaceplane. And of course, is home to one of my favorite aerospace manufacturers, Scaled Composites, responsible for Burt Rutan's Easy series and the models 115 and 2000 starships, along with aircraft such as the Ares, the Model 76 Voyager, the Virgin Atlantic Global Flyer, the Model 281 Proteus, the Model 143 Triumph, the Model 118 White Knight, the mothership to Spaceship One, and the Model 348 White Knight 2, mothership for the Model 339 Spaceship Two, and newly announced Delta Class, essentially Spaceship 3. And finally, the Model 351 Rock Stratolaunch aircraft. I mention all of these not just to show my knowledge of the area in autistic detail, but also to show the collection of advanced and bizarre aircraft that can be expected to be seen in the skies over Palmdale. I mean, Scaled Composites aircraft, I brought them up specifically because they just look alien. And these are just some of the ones famous for being from Mojave. There's many others that look freaking bizarre. But back to Palmdale for a second, there is a pretty popular park not far from my childhood home that is really popular for things like festivals and concerts. In fact, one time we had some hot air balloons pass right over our house, so close that one of them almost hit our tree in the backyard. Nothing bad happened, just kind of freaked out my ducks a little bit because I don't know what they're called. The propane thing that makes the hot air balloon rise is pretty loud when it's blowing flames. Cool sound, but freaked out the ducks a little bit. But that said, since there's a park there that's really popular for concerts and stuff, and in one of the videos, in actually a couple of videos, you can see that this UFO seems to have rainbow synchronized lighting, which would lead me to believe it's either for a drone show that would take place at the park, which are more and more common every year, or it could be a parachute or a kite with LEDs attached. In fact, that's almost what it looks more like to me. We also have to remember that Palmdale and Lancaster, where this UFO sighting took place, have deep connections to the film and commercial industry. So if all else fails, it could just be for a movie or a commercial or even a video game. I mean, when I was out there, I had my own UFO encounter, and it just turns out they were filming AI, artificial intelligence. So the moral of the story is it's either defense contractors, an aeronautical engineer that makes airplanes into modern art, or a movie. It's never aliens unless it's aliens. Well, I hope you all enjoyed my little rant on Palmdale. I mean, when I see Palmdale trending in the New York Post, Twitter, and on YouTube, I gotta talk about it. I mean, this channel's name is Runway 25, named after the runway at Palmdale. And my main series so far is Hangar 412, referencing the 412 test wing that operates out of Edwards, and Hangar 18 from Area 51, trying to draw that whole little connection there. So, when the internet's alight talking about Palmdale, you know that Runway 25 Productions has to jump in and talk about it. You know it has to happen. But if you're new here, this isn't my usual thing. I usually cover lore from all sorts of video games, Sonic, Ace Combat, mainly Ace Combat, GTA, Hydro Thunder. But in October, I do have some videos that will be releasing covering Sonic lore to coincide with the release of the new Sonic Generations game. And then I'll be returning to Sonic lore in December to coincide with the release of the third Sonic movie that I am so hyped for. I have only one tattoo, and it is a Shadow the Hedgehog tattoo. I'm very happy with my decision. Well, as always, don't forget to like, share this video around, educate some people on this little forgotten pocket of the Mojave Desert. Everyone seems to remember Edwards Air Force Base. No one seems to remember Plant 42, where the aircraft tested at Edwards and tested at Area 51 are actually made. And definitely leave your own UFO stories down below. I would love to read them. I love that kind of stuff. My favorite videos are always like unsolved mysteries, because the magic is in not knowing. Once you know how something works or how it happened, then it's not as fun and magical anymore. But as much as I am a skeptic, I was a member of SETI for a few years, so I do believe in the existence of aliens. I think if you don't believe aliens are out there somewhere in the universe, you're not being scientific. That's like standing on Easter Island and going, yeah, there's no other people around, just us and our big stone heads. Very ignorant. But since I also grew up in Palmdale, more often than not, UFOs can be attributed to some waste of your tax dollars for the most part. And last but not least, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon for more lore and plane spotting from across the multiverse.
Still locked in time and what's true. The cure for foundations, argument is better argument, not the suppression of ideas.